There's something happening right now, and almost nobody is seeing it clearly. You've probably noticed it already. Gas prices are going up. Maybe it caught your attention for a moment, maybe it annoyed you a little, but then you moved on, because it didn't feel like a crisis. It felt manageable, just another small increase, just another inconvenience, and that right there is exactly what makes this dangerous. Because what you're looking at right now, that number on the gas pump, is not the real problem. It's the signal, it's the first visible crack in something much bigger that is already shifting underneath you. Behind that one number, there's a chain reaction already in motion. Not one problem, not one spike, but a series of waves, each one delayed. Each one building, each one stronger than the last, and by the time most people understand what's actually happening, they won't be preparing anymore, they'll be reacting. Let's start with something that feels simple: gas. Prices rise and you notice it immediately. You pull into a station, you look at the number, and something feels off. It's higher than last month, higher than what you expected, but still survivable. So your brain does what it always does: it categorizes the situation, it tells you this is annoying but manageable, and then it moves on. But here's what's really happening in that moment: fuel is not just another expense. It's the foundation of almost everything in your life. Every product you buy, every delivery you receive, every store shelf you see stocked, all of it is connected to energy. So when fuel prices move, they don't stay contained. They spread quietly, slowly, and at first almost invisibly. The next place it shows up is your groceries, but not in a way that shocks you overnight, and that's what makes it so dangerous. Instead of one big jump, it's a series of small increases. A little more for vegetables, a little more for meat, a little more for dairy. Nothing dramatic. Nothing that forces you to stop and rethink your finances. Just enough to slowly change your weekly total. And over time, that small change becomes a pattern. Because behind every item in that store, there's a journey. Food doesn't appear out of nowhere. It travels from farms to storage facilities to trucks to distribution centers to your local store. And every step of that journey depends on fuel. So when fuel costs rise, food costs follow. Not instantly, but inevitably. Now here's where things get even more serious, because the next wave is one you won't see coming at all. Production. Farming. The cost of creating food in the first place. Modern agriculture is deeply tied to energy. Fertilizers, machinery, processing, all of it depends on fuel and energy inputs. So when those costs rise, the impact doesn't show up today. It shows up later, months later, which means by the time you feel it, you're already inside it. There's no preparation left, no warning, just the realization that everything got more expensive again. Then comes the next phase, and this is where things start to feel personal. Travel becomes more expensive. Flights cost more. Shipping costs increase. Experiences that once felt normal start to feel heavy, and without even realizing it, you begin adjusting. You cancel plans, you delay trips, you cut back on things you used to enjoy, not because you suddenly changed your priorities, but because something else forced you to. And this is how financial pressure works. It doesn't hit you all at once, it reshapes your behavior slowly. And then comes the most subtle wave of all: money itself. Borrowing, interest rates. When inflation pressure builds, interest rates stay high, which means everything tied to borrowing becomes more expensive. Homes, cars, credit cards, every payment stretched into the future becomes heavier. And unlike gas or groceries, this doesn't feel immediate. It builds over time, quietly tightening pressure, until one day, you realize everything costs more than it used to. Now here's the part most people completely miss: the real danger isn't just what's happening around you, it's how your brain interprets it. Because your brain is not designed for modern economics. It's designed for survival. When it sees a complex situation, it simplifies it. It looks for one clear signal and uses that as the entire story. And right now that signal is gas prices. And because gas feels manageable, your brain assumes everything else will be too. This is called anchoring, and it's one of the biggest reasons people get caught off guard. Then there's something even deeper: mental accounting. You divide your money into invisible categories: gas, food, entertainment, savings, and when one category increases, you don't calmly rebalance everything. You react emotionally. You cut what feels optional. You delay what feels flexible. You protect what feels urgent. Not based on logic, but based on instinct. And then something shifts. You start paying attention to your investments. Markets feel unstable. Numbers move down. And suddenly it feels like something is being taken from you. Your brain reacts instantly. Protect what's left. Get out now. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear: fear is not designed to make financial decisions. It's designed to keep you alive. And those are two very different things. History shows this pattern over and over again. During moments of uncertainty, people panic. They sell, they step away. And then something unexpected happens: recovery, often faster than they imagined. But they're not there anymore, because they left. Now there is a scenario that worries experts: not just rising prices, not just slowing growth, but both happening at the same time. This is where things become difficult, because every solution creates another problem. Lower rates and inflation increases. Raise rates and growth slows down. There's no easy fix. And uncertainty grows. And when uncertainty grows, people freeze. They delay decisions, they wait, they hold back, and when millions of people do that at the same time, the entire system slows down. But here's the part that matters most, because this isn't about predicting the future perfectly, it's about responding differently. The people who come out stronger don't wait, they don't panic either, they adjust early. They become aware, they review their spending, they create breathing room, they stay consistent with long-term decisions, they reduce unnecessary risk, and most importantly, they don't let fear take control. Because the biggest advantage during uncertainty is not intelligence, it's calm, early action. Right now, you're in a unique position. You're aware, and that awareness creates a window, a small one but powerful, because most people won't think about any of this until it's already affecting them directly, until the pressure becomes obvious, until the options become limited. By then, it's no longer about preparation, it's about survival. The situation isn't fully visible yet, but the signals are already there, the shift has already begun, and the question is simple. Will you wait until everything becomes obvious, or will you act while you still have time? Because in moments like this, the difference between reacting and preparing changes everything.